Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today I'm gonna do a video I wanted to do for a while but didn't really get around to it. Basically, I'm just gonna have a topic that I want to talk about around tarantulas and just talk about it. Today is gonna be my questions to all tarantula lovers, tarantula keepers. What happened with Stromatopelma calceatum species? It disappeared completely from the hobby as far as I know. I mean, it didn't really disappear, but I can't really find it. And that's my question. We're talking about the species you're seeing in the background, the Featherleg Baboon from Africa. It's, as far as I know, one of the 3 arboreal species that live in Africa. They live in West Africa, basically Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Nigeria, around there. They grow to 15 centimeters in size. They're not the biggest spiders, but by God, they're fast as hell. They're really fast arboreal spiders. They're kind of semi-arboreal, meaning that when they're young, they can dig and they use their webbing like as a protective area where they put, like, where they live on cork barks, and then basically they live inside that pocket of webbing. It's still the same for my adult species of calceatum and macuata. It's the same for Olivia, how is it? Enchiocratela oliviacea is also the third arboreal that is also African. Yeah, basically I used to have a female for 6 years. I got it pretty early and it was not from spider world. It was from some breeder, and I had it for 5 years, and after, I don't know how old it was, it died last year from maturity, from being old. But that's not really the problem. The problem is that last year I was thinking about buying the new calceatum female or just getting slings, and the first time I saw that it was a problem getting them was that spider worlds stopped getting them. Basically, there are not any available at all, not even slings. When I remember that, like, when I started the hobby 8 years ago, there were a bajillion of them, and each of them was €2. It was a very cheap spider, like macuatas right now are like €5, but it was a very cheap spider. You could very easily get them. Everybody had calceatums, many of the breeders bred them, but it was a very common tarantula to have in the hobby. And now I go to fairs, it doesn't exist. I was at Slow Exo, I was at Gior, the Hungary trip. You saw the videos before. I was at the Gior Expo. There were not really any calceatum slings, or even like adult species. That this doesn't exist. Right now, I think Spiderwell has some slings, but they didn't have them for a while as well. So for like a few years they didn't have any of them. Let's talk more about the species first, and then we can come back to this. It's a medium-sized tarantula. It's African, so that means it's very fast, but most of all it's known for its coloration. It's like slightly orangish, whitish color. In the video also see what the difference is basically between the macuata and the calceatum. Calceatum is mostly hairier and more fluffy, if you see it. That's I think the main difference that people could spot it. If you don't have proper lighting and you don't really see the coloration on the tarantula, that's basically the easiest way to spot it. But yeah, it's crazy. And the hairs on the legs, and you see in the videos, are pinkish, orangish, like purplish color. I don't know how to describe that color. It's a nice color, but it's, I don't know, it's like reddish pinkish color. The distinct googly eyes on the tarantulas is also a very nice thing to have. I still have maculata, of course, and I have Olivicea, but yeah, it's that, and basically what people are, I don't know, are people scared of it? Because, as you know, it's third most venomous tarantula in the hobby, or the first one. It's basically when they did the measurements, the sciences, it was like very venomous. So its bite hurts a lot. People talk about cramps for months or weeks. So it's not good to get bitten, but that's basically why tarantulas is known for. It lives in humid environment. You feed adult one every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, depends on the size. It is very defensive tarantula. It basically doesn't like you touching it, seeing it at all. It only comes out at night, like my maculata and Olivicea does. Maculata is more hidden, I must say. In my experience, maculata and calceatum are more hidden, and Olivicea does basically have like a webbing pouch on the cork bark it has inside, but is definitely more aggressive. And it stands up for itself, and it tells you to get out of its terrarium. So it's more of aggressive in that way, but I think the sheer speed that this tarantulas has is crazy. So back to the topic, what happens to it in the hobby? Basically, I don't know, maybe the problem was that people didn't want to breed them because they were so cheap and they weren't as wanted as before because people got scared of them. Maybe more people got into the hobby and didn't want to basically get them because it's a beginner tarantula. It's not a beginner tarantula. Again, I'm sorry, I miss saying things, but it's not a beginner tarantula. It's not easy to move them. It's not easy to rehouse because it's arboreal. You can't just put a cup over it and just put it in another box. It's way more difficult. So yeah, I think my first tarantula, for example, was actually a Heteroscodra maculata, and I thought it was a Stromatopelma sezeni, and I kept it in because the seller that sold me the tarantula was basically didn't know what he had, so that was the big problem. But it was a very nice spider. I love the spider. I never bred them, and maybe I will in the future. So yeah, maybe the fear of the tarantula itself drove it to the edge of existence in the tarantula world, and maybe what we need to do is bring it back, because I really want to buy a female of the species, and I will do it next year. But yeah, just some thoughts about the species. I really love all arboreal African species. I love African species in general. I think they're fascinating, their coloration and mood, and how the webbing looks in terrariums looks more attractive for me than some brachypelmas, but brachypelmas have that advantage that they are easier for beginners and everything. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts. I hope the tarantula comes back in the sales department, and that we can buy it easier in the future. So thank you for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like it, give it a like, subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in next video next week. Bye bye.